Your monkey bike challenge, real simple, right? You go buy a CT100 mini bike from Tractor Supply, and they're on Amazon as well. You can grab them on Amazon. But all right, but it is limited to the CT100U. So don't show up with a CT400, right? Because we're not going to let you run. So make sure you get the right thing. All right, frame is limited to exact OEM factory specification frame. Lengthening, narrowing, chopping, or sectioning of the OEM frame is not allowed. Removal of excess brackets or tabs is allowed. Extreme lightening of the frame is not allowed. And that's going to be kind of based upon the interpretation of the tech inspector. Like if you got holes drilled in this sucker, because you know how Tony says there's nothing lighter than a hole, right? But I mean, if you've got holes drilled all over this sucker and you think you're Burt Monroe out there, we're probably not going to let you run. All right. So, and that's extreme lightening. I mean, there will be some things that are allowed, right? Okay, ballast is permissible, but limited to meet minimum class weight of 230 pounds with the driver. So it's got to weigh a minimum of 230 pounds with the driver. So if you go get the 10-year-old neighbor kid to run your mini bike at the Monkey Bike Challenge, you might have to add a few pounds. All right, ballast must be bolted directly to the chassis. Okay, so which is kind of common sense safety stuff. Engine, limited to one of factory engines only. Engine must be exact mass-produced OEM specification engine, and any modification may be made to the engine and or its components, excluding the clutch. The engine must drive the vehicle. All engines are subject to AHRA Tech Inspector's judgment of allowance. And this is just to try to keep the lid on the, before the wheels come off the bus. We don't want somebody showing up with an absolute ringer with a GT1000 motorcycle engine on the dang thing. But, all right, the engine must drive the vehicle. So you can't just add another engine and leave your old one on there. All engines are subject to AHRA Tech Inspector. Okay. Wheels, OEM stock wheels are mandatory. The exhaust system, headers of any configuration or stock OEM exhaust system are allowed. Clutch, use of Coleman OEM centrifugal stock type units with no modifications is mandatory. So this is where you could literally have 900 horsepower coming out of that little Coleman 100cc motorcycle motor, but the clutch is pretty much going to dictate how this thing's going to go down the track.
Right.
All right, gearing. OEM factory or type factory sprockets are mandatory with 6.3 to 1 gearing, and that's what the thing comes with from the factory. The reason why we did that is like if you change a gearing on it and you had twice or 3 times as much horsepower, this thing could top in like 85, 90 miles an hour, and we don't want somebody being a skid mark on the middle of Larry Jeffers' track. That wouldn't be nice.
I mean, I know that some of you guys would love to see the content that these things would make, but there's got to be some kind of guardrails because you guys are just too creative to have no rules at all.
And then weight is weighing required on all drivers and vehicles to determine qualification for the class will occur at the event. So we're going to weigh you before you go. Your fuel, you can pretty much use racing gasoline, E85, and methanol. Nitromethane is the only thing that's prohibited. And safety equipment is at a minimum. Each rider is required a helmet, long pants, long sleeve shirt, gloves, and it's essentially the basic safety requirements to run a motorcycle at a drag strip is what you're looking at. And then there must be a dead man switch involved there, so where if you fall off the bike, it automatically cuts it off. Bombed Ganshaw is asking, so just so we're clear, what if you don't currently have 500 subs? Like we said at the beginning of the video, get hot now, and then you'll have 500 subs.
Make it happen. Yep, make it happen. And we just got to have some kind of standard on content creators because we want people who have invested enough in making content. It just seems to go a little better. It keeps the trolls out. It keeps the people who nobody wants to deal with out. Now, you guys, some of you guys have fantastic channels. You only have a couple hundred subs. Trust me, you start making content for this event, we start sharing it, start talking and tagging each other back and forth, on YouTube, you'll get your 500, no problem.